Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
This is Eric from Aittala, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour, the best fucking show on the planet.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather. Happy Halloween, you little ghouls and goblins. It's getting very close to Halloween, so be sure you got your favorite costume, get a lot of candy, get your parents off their asses, get them out there and take you trick-or-treating, things like that. And most of all, enjoy it. And to all you parents out there, please enjoy it with your kids. Don't be stuck up and go, oh, God, I got to be on the internet. Screw that. Be with your kids. Enjoy Halloween. And if you're going to do adult stuff that night, please have a DD and be smart. Use common sense. But today we've got an awesome guest on the line, Mr. Eric Aittala of Aittala. I want to welcome him back to the show. Aittala has released their 5th album entitled False Pretenses via Curtain Call Records. And I had Eric on here, I think maybe 2018, talking about their previous album. So we're going to be talking to Eric about this new album, and they've got some tracks he sent to me, which are very, very good. So we're going to jump into all of this. So Eric, man, welcome to the show, and glad to have you back on, man.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, and all the work that you do supporting metal.
Thank you.
Original music.
I needed that as our Venting 101 class just ended. Oh, man. People don't realize how much goes into these interviews and the stuff afterwards. You know, the backstage, as I call it, of editing, because you've got to edit and prepare for the other interviews. It's a lot of work, man. Just like as a band, it's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. You know that.
Exactly.
How's it been working with the Curtain Call Records for you guys so far?
Well, you know, we've only been working with them since False Pretenses. It's a good relationship. We're happy with them. You know, originally we were going to work with another independent label to release the album, but, you know, kind of fell through. We were ready to release it independently, you know, like we did the 4 prior albums, but out of the blue, Curtain Call came, and, you know, we struck up a deal with them. We just signed with them in August. They released the album September 6th, and so far so good. I'm enjoying working with them, and, you know, they got some good stuff coming up, some exciting stuff, some good shows, some festivals for 2020, so I'm excited to see where we go with them.
This is Aittala's 5th album. How does it feel to be able to put out a full-length album today, especially since so much has changed in the music world for bands now? A lot of bands just want to put out an EP for money-wise, and I could see that, and plus time. And others still want to go that full-length route. Let's talk about this a little bit, because today everything has changed a lot.
Well, originally with American Nightmare and thinking about it, back to even Effigy, those are all going to be EPs. But, you know, when I start getting into a writing mode, and, you know, we kind of set a loose agenda of, hey, we want to get into the studio by, you know, summer of 2018. So that was kind of our time frame. So, you know, I have a few songs, and then I just have this burst of creativity. I write more songs, and it's like it doesn't make sense not to record them all since we're there. And then I just, you know, put together a full-length album, and it gets released. So it's definitely a labor of love in this day and age. But, you know, I love creating the music. I love recording and releasing it, and, you know, for people to enjoy it.
What's impressed or excited you the most about making the new album, if anything? Was there anything you wanted to add differently to this album that didn't get added from the previous album, maybe that you wanted to incorporate into this one?
Well, I would say this one, I made a conscious decision to make the quality better, to have better production. I used a different studio for the drums. We recorded at 96K instead of 48K, which is the bit rate. Also used a different person for mixing it, and we also used a different person for mastering it. So on the back end, it was all new, you know, folks for production. You know, I still did the bulk of the recording. We did the, you know, drums in the studio, and then I used my home studio to record everything else. But then again, the mixing, the mastering, all different people. It's sonically a lot better than the older albums. And so I wanted to go all out on this one and, try some new things as far as, sonically. And I think that comes through when you listen to it. You can hear the difference in the recording quality. So I'm really happy with, how that turned out.
Do you like having the control of just recording when you want to, the DIY? Because I know some don't like to give it the reins because they want to have that control. But do you like this, though, doing it yourself?
I do, because I am a perfectionist. And I know some bands, when they don't have the, the skill or, don't want to learn it, you go into a studio but there's a different dynamic there, knowing you're under the gun. You only have so much money for your budget and so much time. But I can't sit in the studio. I can't record, 8 hours, 10 hours at a time. I'm good for about 4 hours of solid recording a day, and I like to chip away at it. And it's funny because, if you go back and watch that movie, Some Kind of Monster on Metallica, one of their points of contention between Lars and James is James just wanted to go in the studio for 4 hours, and Lars wanted to stay there, thought, hey, we're wasting our time if we're not doing more than 4 hours. So, there was that weird dynamic in that fighting that kind of was, like I said, a point of contention between them. Now that I look back after I started, really getting into recording, I kind of get James's point, some people are only good for a short amount of time when you're recording, especially, you're trying to, get it perfect. And so that's why I like it, and plus I'd go broke. If I recorded the way that I recorded in a studio that I recorded at home, I would definitely spend probably $10,000-$20,000 in studio time. So yeah, I enjoy, recording on my own. Gives me the freedom to do what I want when I want on my timeline.
And plus, doing the 4 hour bit, this is just me personally, seems like that would give you more of a perspective to think about what you did in the recording studio that day, to go back the next day or whenever you go back to add to it. Because, I can see Lars's point and I can see everybody else's point of wanting to stay there for long periods of time. But my God, it's got to get stale and just get I need a break.
Well, my brain definitely gets tired, and that's why I can only do about 4 hours before I need to move on and take a break, do something else, play some video games or whatever to clear my mind. But generally, when I record in chunks, I'll definitely have a goal for the day to say, hey, do, the rhythm guitar tracks of this song, or to do the bass line of this song. And so, having these little goals makes it easier for me, because that's just the way my brain works.
Writing these new songs, Eric, did it push you out of your comfort zone than what you're used to, possibly?
I'd say, my methodology has always been the same. The way that I write hasn't changed, and I don't know how to change it. So I just kind of go with the flow. I probably did experiment more or work more with a drop tune in A. There's probably half the songs in the album or in A. I play a 7-string, so those are generally standard tuning, or in B. I did a lot more. For some reason, half the songs are in A. So, I don't know if I stretched myself by any means of the imagination, in my opinion. I think some people have told me the songs are better for whatever reason, or they think they're better than the prior album. So, I guess it's a matter of somebody else's perspective to tell me if they thought, I did something different. But I feel like I just was the same. But again, it's just like, you're working out. You don't necessarily notice those changes in yourself, but other people notice those changes when they don't see you for a while.
How long did it take to write and complete the album?
Well, I would say probably, I'm always writing songs, so it's hard to say, well, how long did it take to write the song specifically, because I may have gone back and found some material prior. They weren't all fresh songs. In fact, 2 of the songs, 1, 2, I'm looking at the song listing right now, 3 of the songs were actually songs I had written in the 90s, and I dusted off because I have a back catalog that I've never released, that they were demos. And so on every album, there's songs that are old songs mixed with new songs. But, the recording I can specifically tell you took from last July, when we went to the studio, I should say last June, until November. So about 5 or 6 months to record everything. The writing part, it's a little vague depending on, what perspective you look at. I'd say a couple years start to finish from when it was the inception of, hey, it's time to write a new album or put together a new album, to releasing it.
Any songs that didn't make this album that could possibly be on another album down the road for you guys?
No, because when I was writing the new material before I decided what songs we were going to bring in, I had 7 brand new songs. And then I said, let me play around. Let me make 10 songs out of it. Now, it's kind of an interesting story if you get the digital download, which most people will, as opposed to the CD. The CD only has 10 songs, but the digital download actually has 12 because there's a clean version of Different Day, and you have the explicit version.
Uh-huh.
But I did a clean version in case, for radio play, because I really like that song. It's a good kind of straight-ahead rock song. But I have a song on the album, the official album, called Debt, and there's also a song called Forsaken. Both of them have the same piano part. One is in the key of A, one is in the key of B, ironically, as we talked about the keys before, and they have different words. The songs are related. One is from the early 90s, and then there's another, the song Debt is from the 2000s. It's kind of hard to explain, but you do get the bonus track in the digital download having Forsaken, and some people will say, well, look, it's the same song. Well, it's a different version with different words, but the song stories are actually intertwined. But short answer, no, there's no songs that didn't make the album because I wrote specifically just for this album.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the album? I know it must change every time you listen to it or you talk about it, but do you have any that stick out for you possibly, Eric?
I mean, we talked about Different Day. I mean, I love that song. I just love the subject matter and, the progression of it. That's just one of my favorite songs on the album.
For you, was it hard to choose between the current set of songs? Which one would be the first single or video you wanted to release or push first for the album? Or did you have to have outside help to decide? Or was it hands down Black Coffin when you guys heard it or wrote it?
No, actually, it was going to be Different Day, ironically. But we couldn't find a video location to shoot a video, and I wanted to have a video for the first song. So I decided, I'm going to use, I said to myself and to the band, I said, guys, we're going to do a video for Black Coffin because we had a place we could shoot. And if you haven't seen the video for Black Coffin, it's sort of, the song is a very, kind of a 70s Sabbath vibe. And if you see the video, it's very reminiscent. We did this on purpose to make the video very reminiscent of like an early 70s video. Like if you see Black Sabbath's Paranoid or Iron Man, kind of using that imagery because we shot it against a green screen. And so that's how Black Coffin became the first single. Now, the second single that Curtain Call wants to release, well, let me tell you this, is we have a video for Nemesis as well. And Nemesis was going to be originally the first single that the other record label wanted to do. But since we did Black Coffin as a video, we still shot Nemesis because we thought we were going to release it with that other record label. So we come to Curtain Call's official second release from the album is actually going to be that ballad song, Debt, that we talked about, the piano ballad. And they want to push that song. They love it. Everybody, at the record label is like, this is the next single. So cross our fingers. I have the video for Debt finished now. It's going to be released probably in the next few days. So that's what we're looking forward to.
What do you hope everyone takes away from or message you hope they hear while listening to any of Aittala's music in general? What do you hope everybody gets from it when they listen to it? What do you hope they take away from it?
I just hope they find something that, means something to them, and it keeps them coming back and listening to more and wanting to listen. If they listen to False Pretenses, they go back to the, four albums that it drives them to, discover the older material and to embrace it and, listen to it a lot.
Now, John E. Wooten, he produced the album, correct?
Correct.
How was working with him on this? Did he get something out of you guys that maybe no one else possibly could have gotten?
Well, that's where we get back to the home recording. So Johnny was more, when we talk about produced, the album credit is co-produced by me and Johnny, and I did a lot of, kind of production stuff for him as far as in the recording. It's kind of hard to explain if you don't understand recording itself, but I did a lot of things. But what Johnny did and what he brought was more a different ear, so he mixed it, and, he has a different ear for metal, and so he brought a lot of ideas to mixing, a lot of things that I wouldn't have thought of that he added in post-production that I thought turned out really well and that I really liked that he did. So, I've known Johnny for probably 15 years now. So, he's not a stranger to me. We have, we have a friendship. And so that, I think, worked well working with him when we're going back and forth, listening to the mixes and, talking about different things that he wanted to try and things that he tried and said, hey, what do you think of this? And so I think his vision of the mix worked perfectly.
You did the artwork for the album. What were you looking for when you started creating the design for the album?
I had no idea. So artwork is always one of those things where I don't know, for me and maybe other bands is, hey, I've got an album. Okay, good. If it's recorded, it's mixed. Shit, now I got to come up with art. And every time, every album, it's always been a struggle until something like a spark of inspiration comes. I had no idea what the art was going to be, even when the album was being mixed. And then one day I was at the drummer's house. He had an old typewriter that his mother gave him, like from the early 1900s, very similar to the picture on the album cover. And I was taking a shower and I was stoned. And I just started having these weird visions of typewriter inspiration, thinking of his typewriter. And that's when it hit me. So smoking weed in the shower is great inspiration to come up with album art. And that's where it came from.
Cannot go wrong with that.
You can't. And, and again, the album title too, I had other album titles and, obviously some people, most of the older albums, the song is a title on the album. This one was more, I felt, encompassed the collection of songs the best, because that's a phrase I used in a couple of songs. And for some reason I just said, you know what, this is kind of sums up the songs themselves, as opposed to using one song title as the album title.
Do you see this band still musically growing from where it started? Or has it just been more of a personal growth for all of you guys involved with Aittala?
Well, I mean, Aittala's been my baby since 1991. And then when, I kind of had it on hold for a lot of years, and then I came back and started, released Bed of Thorns in 2009, and then, Haunch of Flesh, Effigy, American Nightmare. About every 2 years an album comes out. There's definitely been a growth in the way that I write and the way the music has come together. The earlier albums are a little more, I want to say experimental, but a lot more keyboards, a lot more textures when it comes to synths and things. But over the years, for some reason, I've just become more straight-ahead guitar-driven songs. And I don't know why that is, but it's just, I've been evolving as far as the sound goes. And maybe it's the way that I'm interacting with different people and getting inspired in different ways, and it just comes out in the music.
In your own opinion, what does Aittala bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, if anything? I mean, I know no one's reinventing the wheel, but what do you guys keep adding to that wheel? Well,
some of the best feedback or reviews that we have gotten over the years is it says Aittala sounds original. I've seen this, and people have printed this, said, there aren't bands that sound like Aittala. And so to me, that is my biggest achievement and I'm most proud of, because if somebody can listen to your music and say, you know what, I can't find another band that sounds just like that, because you'll hear bands every day that you'll say, oh, that sounds just like this. They sound just like them. And, why do something if your goal, maybe it's not your goal, but if you sound just like somebody else, they already exist. So, I don't write with an intention, with a genre in mind. I just write organically, and I'm glad that it comes out as an original sound.
What can fans expect at a show from Aittala who have not got to see you guys live as of yet, Eric? What are they going to get when they come to see you?
They're going to see three guys having a lot of fun, giving it their all on stage, and hopefully, the audience will feed from that.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you that Aittala gets support from, or your music even gets played in, possibly? Has there been a location that kind of stands out more than any?
Well, I would say, we played in Germany we went on a couple of European tours, and, Germany seems to like us, when people come out to the shows and stuff. We're on some package tours. But I think what's kind of most surprising is, physical CDs actually still sell, and, I sell them on CD Baby. Curtain Call isn't going to do a physical release of False Pretenses. They just focus on the digital. But I still have the physical version available. But I've gotten orders from the weirdest countries from CD Baby, people ordering it. It's like, you wouldn't even think like, oh, that's a real country. Like in the middle of Europe in some little country, some guy ordered the CD. And, I like it. You feel good when somebody at some remote location or some, country you didn't even think of orders your CD and, digs on it.
That's going to be my next question, man. Do you guys see a lot of digital sales, physical sales like CD and vinyl? What is the most popular thing for Aittala? Well, what's been the most popular thing that you've seen people grasp to the most? I
mean, it's digital, obviously. I mean, physical CD sales, it's hard to get distribution and it costs a lot of money. So, again, they're only available on CD Baby. So, digital is obviously where the majority of people are going to, find it. I would love to do vinyl, but the cost of vinyl is rather expensive. And, just to press a fair amount of records is a lot more money than you think. So, I want to look at, maybe doing a vinyl version of this one in the near future, but I have to see the demand. It has to make sense. But, a lot of bands are releasing vinyl. So, maybe I'm just behind the eight ball now.
No, you're not, because, there's still bands that have not released stuff on vinyl. But, yeah, you're right. There's a lot that's actually putting stuff out on vinyl. And vinyl today is a lot thicker than I've noticed in the previous vinyls from back in, 60s, 70s, stuff like that. So,
right.
I've got a little collection of vinyl going on, but, man, I'm still more of a disc guy or MP3 guy, buy it that way, digital. So that's just me personally. Everybody has their own niche that they like, but I like having the physical copy with a CD. That's just me.
Right, and surprisingly enough, CDs still sell pretty well at shows, more than you would probably think. People are still like, they're still interested either to drunken impulse buy because they're fucked up and they just want to, I want to spend my money, or, they genuinely like having the CD because, even though you might just digitize it, there's just still something about holding something in your hand. And I think that pendulum is sort of swinging now back toward people liking to hold something. So, maybe people have a resurgence.
Folks, you want to get out and pick up Aittala's 5th album entitled False Pretenses via Curtain Call Records. Get out and pick it up. You will not be disappointed. They have some great music on this. I got to hear 3 tracks so far: Black Coffin, Different Day, and Nemesis. They're really good songs. I'm not going to spoil all this for you. Get out and pick it up. You will not be disappointed. Have I ever led you guys down the wrong path before? I wouldn't say yay or nay on that. Just says, yep. I may have a couple of times, but hey, it happens. Eric, my friend, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy this album, tour dates, tickets, all this good stuff. How can they do that?
Well, the easiest way, is to find us on social media. If you go to Aittala.com, which is AITTALA.com, we still keep an official website. From there, we keep it pretty up to date with the news, but you can find links to our major social media, which is, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're Aittala Music, one word, on all of those platforms for social media. So, if you just go to our website or if you just Google Aittala, you'll find tons of links to all our stuff. And so it's easy to find us. And, the music's available on all the major digital platforms. So if you have a favorite digital distribution channel that you like to buy from, either Amazon or Apple or, iHeartRadio or whatever, you'll find us there, Spotify. So we're easy to find, just like any other band, but we're easier to find because if you Google a name, you're not going to get mixed up with any other band called Aittala.
And before I let you go, as always, would you care to do another promo for the show?
Sure, I'll do a promo. This is Eric from Aittala, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour, the best fucking show on the planet.
Everybody stick around. We've got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out the Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and please subscribe to our YouTube link. It has anything and everything that we do on it, and plus our podcast link. Also, get out and check out Aittala. You will not be disappointed. As I said previously, pick up their 5th album entitled False Pretenses. Rock out, jam out, support these guys. It's all good local stuff, and it's beyond amazing. So, Eric, as always, man, you're always welcome back on the show, and I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck.
Appreciate your support, John. Keep up the great work.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.